Good evening, YouTube. This is Sigma Rick here. Another episode of Oxygen Not Included. It's been a while. A couple other games came out, trying to get everything back under control at the house here. Last time we kind of just established our water pit right here, so today we're going to just kind of dig the base out to see how far we go. So our water pit is essential because it's going to allow us to get to crops, and see how the washroom doesn't have any water. Well, luckily we're just going to do this, and we're going to go down to plumbing down here. As soon as these guys actually delete these, we'll put in a water pump, and that's going to allow them to wash their hands, because right now they've been running around with just icky hands. So we can do that there, and that'll allow them to traverse. Okay, so now that that's done, we're going to actually start building. Where do we want to go? What's our temperature? So as much as we want to go left, we also want to go right a little bit. We need to start building a farm, and in order to do that we need room. Now we don't want to go too far over here because this is temperate. It's starting to climb up in temperate. It's warm. A lot of our food needs to be kind of in the green. We can use some of this to chill, so we can kind of use this as well, but it's kind of a numbers game. We're looking for the right amount of crops that will serve our starting purpose. So right now I have 4 dupes because one of them died. He just didn't get to oxygen fast enough. I think he's down in the water somewhere. Yeah, Bert, dead. We're mourning him, so whatever. What we can do in order to help people cope, because they're under a little bit of stress, 4% stress, what we can actually do is we'll put a memorial right here. We'll put him in. This is going to be the nature reserve, by the way. So we are just going to put some ladders right here, and then dig this part up once or twice. Let's see. We don't have any operators, so we are a little bit behind in that regard. Usually I like to have an operator so that I can just main everybody so that I know everything's pumping. Right now I don't have a generator idle, meaning I have nobody. Oh, well, that's not even close to what I wanted either. But you know what? It's just in the washroom, so it's alright. We can do this. Basically, we want everything to sink into the water pit. Sometimes it doesn't. This is still kind of dripping into the water pit. But we basically just want to start digging. And this abyssalite right here, so this stone right here, is actually a good insulator. So the longer you can keep that up, the less you have to worry about letting heat or cold in, I guess you would say. Now, the funny part is, when you dig, if you hit sand, the sand is going to collapse right under your guys, and it leads to stupid deaths, because they'll get trapped. They can fall, all the way from up here. If it falls out from under them, they'll fall, if for some reason this wasn't dug out and it had like a crevice like one of these or something, he'd die. Dupes aren't the smartest guys in the world, so never actually think that they're going to do something smart. When you get the base to be really big, it's actually a giant pain in the ass, because making sure that everybody does what they're supposed to do, and then finding somebody who's lost or suffocating or drowning. Now luckily they have a little thing like our food and our breathability where it makes that a little bit easier, so you can find them right away. But sometimes by the time you're alerted, it could be too late. They could already be like on the brink of death, and there's not a damn thing you can do except for, like, oh, do I want to reload it? Find out when that happened. You can, no rule against it. It's your game. So, but most of the time it's just like, well, they're dead. You just kind of try to accept the death, because as much as it sucks, it shows you how, I want to say, annoying this game can be, but it really is sometimes, when it's just like, you don't get it. You don't understand, especially when you plan everything out. You're like, okay, this is going to work here, this is going to work like that, and then somehow they magically go around it. And you're just like, okay, well, maybe you deserve to die because you just didn't follow the plan. Like, all you had to do was dig, And like right here, I actually messed up because I only went 3 high. You're actually supposed to go 4. So what we can do, we actually didn't mess up that bad. So we can actually get rid of that. Get rid of this right here. Get rid of this. And basically I try to dig, you know, get these platforms in, these tiles in. Let's see, our oxygen is, you know, a lot of them are digging right now. You know, I've only got 4. I should have 5, maybe 6. Right, what's that? We had 8, so I should have 5. So I am 1 behind. And because I did put some of them on building priority and digging priority, like her priority right now is to tidy and resupply. So she's bringing supplies to everybody. Unfortunately, nobody's creating oxygen. So that might be part of a problem. And this oxalite actually is wearing out. So we actually need to block that in real fast. Because as soon as that oxalite goes, it's going to start leaking into our base. And then that's a problem that we can't control because I don't know when this is going to erupt. I don't have research. So right now we're just going to block that off. We're not even going to deal with it. Alright, so now that that's blocked off, I don't have to deal with it. That's why I only dug so far right here, because this is snow. This will melt and once again fall into the pit. This is brine. So I can filter that out later when I get the research. But because I don't have anybody research right now, I have everybody digging. And I don't have anybody operating. Like him, he's stuck in here. So, look, he's going to do his one thing, hop over, come back, eat, drink, and be merry. You know, we'll give them a little bit. Nobody's stressed now. But they put Bert in the ground, so it's a tasteful memorial. So everybody's kind of happy. Yeah, this is actually one of those fun games where you can just pick up. Like, I didn't really know what to do right now. Like, I was like, oh, I could do this, or I could do that. But I decided, you know, I'll just pick this game up and start going. You know, I can make... Because you can actually lose yourself in this game. That's one of the great things is, like, you'll be playing it with one thing in mind. And then you're like, oh, I just want to do one more thing. Oh, wait, let me do this thing. Oh, I almost got that. Oh, I see this. Let me go do that. And you can just lose yourself. I've actually lost... let's see. I was going to play, like, an hour once. And then when I looked at the clock, it was, like, 2, 3 in the morning. And I was like, oh, I got to get up, you know, because my kid gets up at, like, you know, 7 or 8. You know, my wife, you know, works in the morning, and it was been my day off, so it's like, well, all right, I'm going to have a long day tomorrow. So this is one of those games you can kind of get lost in. But it's not one of those games that's like, you know, you get so invested into it that you get bored out of it. You actually get a little frustrated when, like, you build a colony and then you realize, oh, I should have done this way earlier. And then on the next run, you do it. But then something else happens. And it does get kind of frustrating because you kind of learn to love your colony. You're like, wow, I did a really good job on this colony. You know, or I did something really cool. You know, I've encountered this and I fixed it. You know, but then when you go to start a new game, you don't have that opportunity again. The knowledge is still there. But it's just the opportunity to have that experience again because the maps, they change. Now what you can do actually is if you have, let's see, so these coordinates right here, SND, blah, 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 if you actually type those back in onto the planet, you will get this exact planet. So you could actually, I guess you would say, cheat and just redo the level over and over and over where you know everything. So if I were to do this, oh, here's our transporter. Okay, well, I know I've got a cold area up here. I've got polluted water to my left and right. You know, and as so forth and so forth, I can start, let's see, what do we got here? Researching. Mr. Nails. I guess that's what we're going to have Mr. Nails do. Because we are, I think, running low. Yeah, see, we're running low. So we need somebody. Hold on. We've got to, I think, reprioritize some people. Right now, we don't really have anything. So, supplying, operating, Nails needs to ranch and operate. So we'll have 2 operators. And Ashkin should be researching, but right now he's digging. So we're going to have some people operating and researching. But I do need to start getting research up and running. Because that's going to lead me to the better power sources. Right now I just have this. And unfortunately our oxygen, at least right here where they're sleeping, is barely breathable. So we need to get some people on this machine here. we can actually set this at a higher priority to make sure, and we'll lower the power threshold, so when the battery gets down to like 20%, then they'll go recharge it, so I'm not losing dupes as fast. Excuse me. I don't think I've drank enough water over the past couple of days, so I'm kind of trying to rehydrate myself in a way, because I promised myself when I moved out here that I was going to exercise more. I got really bad at exercising for a while just because when COVID hit and the nature of my job, you know, being an hour away and stuff like that, you know, sometimes we'd be 12, 14-hour days, you know, for 6 days a week, 10-hour days for a while, different shifts. Just my body wasn't really recovering because everything was changing, especially during that year, working so much. I just got in a really bad habit of just not exercising, and I also have a bad foot, so that really put my mentality of like, oh, I don't want to push it because I only have so much time, you know. So, and a lot of it's just excuses, or I'm like, oh, I'm just tired, or I'll just do it tomorrow, you know, that type of stuff. So now that I'm here, you know, I'm streaming, trying to get it obviously up and running. That's why I'm making these videos. And if you're listening to this, you know, thank you. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video or any of my videos. But now I'm going to be a stay-at-home dad, you know, I got to get my kid in school enrolled and all that. But because I have literally like, oh, I can wake up, not whenever, because, you know, he wakes up, but I can do, you know, this, that, and things of that nature, you know, at certain times. You know, there's no excuse for me not to go exercise. I moved from California, out east here, and the cold in California is severely different from the cold out here. I worked in a freezer for 5 years, and I can honestly tell you that when it gets cold here, I can actually feel it. I'm like, okay, this is a different cold. I'm not going to say it's a bad cold. It's just a different cold, if that makes sense to anybody. Alright, so we actually researched something, which is great. And we have air pumping. So we should, yeah, this should be pumping all the air up. These guys are just going to sit here and sweep forever because they're not focusing on that. So it is what it is at this point. Like I said, they're not the smartest guys, but I also don't have them really digging anything. So we're going to end up digging over Meow. Builders, go over Meow. Now if you hold shift as you put a path down like this, it won't allow your mouse to go off your set path. It'll just make one straight line, which is really nice, because sometimes, like, if it skips or it stutters, like when it's saving, I've had digs go like all the way across the map, and I'm like, oh my god, like that's not even close to what I wanted. So finding that shift button is actually very helpful. Alright, so we're gonna once again dig down here. Rebuild that. Now, I would like to get to air tiles, because these cement tiles, they don't really allow air to pass through that much, and I've only got the one air. Well, it's going to go up the main chute here, which is fine. But as we expand, we need air to kind of pass by each other. So I need the carbon to come down, or the CO2 to come down, and then the oxygen to rise up. That's how it works. So like you can see down here, all the carbon dioxide is heavier, so it's gone to the bottom, and all of our oxygen is floating up to the top. And when you're building the bases and you're going through like checkpoints and trying to configure stuff, like, you know, using your natural gases and then hydrogen, you know, you're like, okay, how do I trap the hydrogen? Because that'll always float to the top, and then the natural gas will float above the chlorine and the CO2. So chlorine will sink, it'll be above. CO2 is usually your heaviest, so it'll always sink to the bottom, in a sense. So, and then they make machines, you know, to get rid of the CO2 and, you know, all that fun jazz. But right now, we're just trying to make sure I don't get any of the chlorine in the base, because that stuff is bad for my guys' lungs. But we can dig to a certain extent. So, what did we research? So, and what did I research? Oh, I did that. Never mind. So we're gonna build up to these farm tiles here. Because I need, like I said, I need to start getting my food. The food we're doing now is okay, but eventually we're gonna run out of food that we can just consume naturally off the ground here. So digger needs to go meow. And then sucrose, these guys right here, they actually what do they excrete? So your animals here, they excrete sucrose, which is really good, which is what you need for your farms. So you'll want to start ranching and things of that nature. Hatchlings, I'll show you those if I can find them in a little bit. They may not be on this map right here. I don't see them, but like I said, we have a cool steam vent. This water is really hot. So actually, if we found a hot tub, that'd actually be perfect because they need to be above 100 degrees, I think, for a hot tub. I think, yeah. So that would be great. We could run like a water pipe all the way through here to a hot tub and give them like a relaxation pit. Now the big thing I need are these grub fruits right here, because if you look, they can survive in body temperature from 59 to 122, which is great because it will get hot, like 87. Let's see where we're at here. 112, 115. So they'll survive in these heavy areas. So that's gonna be like your bread and butter, literally, are those types of plants. Yeah, I feel like I'm behind on my thing because I don't have that extra dew. So it feels like everything's kind of moving at a slower pace than I want it, which unfortunately really does suck, but it is what it is. I can't, I made a mistake. I wasn't paying attention on that guy. So, and then I'm trying to make sure that I get all this water, which I need it to filter down. So it's going to drop down right into there, which is fine, because that'll fill that up. And we can always, one of the things we can always do is dig down here and deepen. Oh, here's one, a hatch, who's probably going to die very soon. But we can always dig like a side thing down here and then expand it, our water tank a little bit. So for right now, we'll just probably leave it because I think that might actually almost overflow it, because I mean we still got all this crap coming in, and sadly nobody's actually doing anything about it. So we're gonna cancel that. Somebody earned a skill point, which is great. Devon earned a skill point, and he loves both construction and digging, but we need diggers right now. We really do. So we're gonna give him the super dig hat. You can do advanced research. They need a hat. Okay. There's that. There's that. Okay, so I think one of our big things is going to be try to get this polluted water. And oh, I didn't see this. We have snow up here, which is great. So getting all this polluted water over into another tank to use, that's going to be a little more finagling because I have to kind of work around it. So I need to get this dug over without this chlorine breaking through. So she's kind of being stupid. Alright, so now that we've got the farms going, we need to get up the combustion. So we need better generators and things of that nature. Now this is producing heat. So ultimately I want my farms away from things that produce heat. Like right here we're doing 36 to 30. So probably not the best spot, but like over here, 50. So like over here, or right here even, is actually not bad because we do have this little cold front. The only problem is if I dig this out, it's going to leak and flood all my things. So we are... So for starters, because we need to plan ahead, we're actually going to get that there, 1, 2, and then we'll go food here for these bad boys. And we'll just kind of go over here. I don't think that's too big. I'm trying to get a greenhouse so that things will grow faster. I can use that for this top one up here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. That's fine. We can deal with that. She's still mopping all that stuff, so what do we got out of here? Research cooking or rocketry, ranching, supplying. That's not bad. So he'll be our rancher, and he can also supply. So that actually will help us out, because if we can start ranching kind of soon, we won't be in that bad a shape. All right, we don't need that many operators, so go back. All right. So making sure that you get your dupes have priorities is really important. Ooh, farming. We definitely want farming. Have priorities really kind of helps things move along, because then they won't be doing everything. So when you go to the priority list, you can construction, digging, cleaning, and things of that nature. Those people assigned who love those items and are assigned to those priority items will automatically just jump over there and start getting rid of it, instead of literally your whole base. Because if you click all and then go over there, all your dupes, regardless of their favorites or everything, are going to go over there and start doing, if I were to say, oh, let's just dig this whole thing out real fast, all of them are going to come over here, and then our plants will suffer, tiding would suffer, people who need to get this, all that would start kind of snowballing into a bad thing, because we wouldn't have anything. Ooh. So we can plant a lot of blossom seeds or mealwood seeds. Blossom seeds are nice. It's just you need a light to heat them, which once again creates heat. But since we are over here in this cold area, we actually might be able to use that to our advantage. So we could probably dig a little bit up and then put some lights like in a higher spot, and then have a bigger area where they will shine, but have the cold of that area still affecting it to keep it within temperature. Because these things are a little bit more finicky. 41 to 86. I mean, this mealwood here is 50 to 86. So, and these ones require light. Mealwood doesn't. We can just dig through with mealwood, plant it and whatever, So we are going to go, in case we need to expand, we are going to go down. I'm going to dig down. And one of the cool things you can do if you do it is when you put these air tiles in, the air will flow, or it will allow the carbon dioxide to kind of flow through here and sink down. So, sadly, we're going to actually do two sides. I'm going to go down both sides. Now, luckily for me, I don't want to hit that hydrogen just yet. But that hydrogen could be important later. If I can find a hydrogen vent, then I'll have my next source of power. And, sorry, my ankle just cracked really bad, and I tried not to yell. That wouldn't be fair to you guys. We definitely want these air tiles right here. So we're going to do that. So with this, we're going to actually delete this battery here. And we're going to get a jumbo battery. Because it can store more power. Now, unfortunately, I'm going to have a dupe sitting on that thing until it's built. So we need to make sure everything's connected. We're going to put this at a priority 6 so that the builder, our builder right here, Mima, will come up here and automatically start building it. Now, she's already building all this other stuff, but they should be focusing on building that so that I don't have one single dupe just sitting there trying to power those things. All right, plumbing. So she gets a new hat, which is great for her. And this isn't my best layout of a base, I'll admit. It's kind of being what the hell? No. So instead of individually clicking every one, when you put them, you just click copy settings and then click the rest of them, and then it'll automatically plant, have a queue for everything that you need to go in there. So luckily she'll start planting all this stuff. Somebody will come by and start farming it, and that'll start our collection of mealwood farms. Like I said, mealwood is kind of bleh. They hate it, but it's your starter fruit. It actually, I don't actually know if it actually gives them bad morale, in a sense. Let's see, we need to go 96 or right here. So your rooms can only be so big. So I'm trying to make sure I make the most out of it. 96, that's fine. And then we grab a few more tiles right here. I'm leaving 2 tiles here so that when I get a farming station, I can put it right here, because it needs 2 tiles to go on top. Alright, so that's charged, so that should be pumping that up. Let's see, oxygen base. Boom, 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 boom. We do have a grill, but we don't have anybody who knows how to cook yet, so that's kind of meaningless. And then we're going to give them, let's see what's down here. 80 degrees. I don't really want them to be cold while they eat, so we're gonna make this the Great Hall. So we'll give them a nice little water cooler right here. We'll give them some tables and future people some tables. And do I have a plant? I don't have a plant yet, so well, there goes that. Alright, and then we're going to throw a supercomputer down here so that when we do the advanced research, it's ready to go. And yeah, so we're kind of getting set up. We're not doing, you know, anything extraordinary at the moment, like researching, you know, the high function things or the high automation things like shipping automators and sweepers and stuff like that. But everybody's got to start somewhere on a base, right? So kind of let them go. And then this does rising pressure, so it seems like it's going to erupt very soon. Now I'm hoping that it's, unfortunately, I don't know, emitting brine. So now we're going to have to figure out where to put all that, because if that fills up, I think it won't keep emitting and we'll lose potential future water sources. So Mr. Ashkin, so now he can field research. So if I'm actually able to build something right here, which I think I can, and it's emitting it at 12 degrees, so his ass is going to be freezing. But in the name of science, it's okay. We'll deal with it. So we'll build a door here. I want to be smart about this because if we go too much, it's going to leak through and we're going to have problems. I think we're going to end up having a problem right here. Once I dig that out, we're going to be in some juju. So actually, we'll build it right there, because that actually won't affect it too much, it seems. And then we can have him kind of go. So we'll grab this, copy settings again. Boom, I've got more meal wood. And then we should have a mess hall, which is great. So we need a plant, because I like plants. We'll get some automation. So, and they don't like their feet wet. I mean, would you really want your shoes wet though if you gotta work all day? So we have that. We have enable auto bottle. We have that as a priority. I don't want any polluted water going in. We just want pure clean water. Let's look at that. Another dupe got another skill, Mima. So we can give her the better hat and let her kind of go. We definitely want this brine to kind of start. We don't want it filling up, but we definitely need it to not plug up, I guess you would say. So we're gonna actually dig this all the way out, not 5. Now the part is they're gonna get cold when he's digging in here, so we got to make sure that we kind of keep an eye on that area. See, we have people standing around, they're just shooting the shit. That's fine. So 7 will be our next one, and we have some polluted water because, well, everybody poops, you know. Alright, so we're getting this dug out, which is great. See, as you can tell, the oxygen is pushing the carbon dioxide down here. I may not have dug out my pit deep enough, to be honest, especially if we're going to take all this water. So what I may do is dig another preliminary tank down here, maybe like right here, a little bit wider, and just dump the rest of it in. Because as soon as I start dumping a lot of this polluted water in, it's going to start filling up really quick on us. So we're going to do analyze and make that a top priority for them. Yeah, they're cold. Yeah. But that's just the way it is, you know. Dupes have to work. I want to make sure that they're working on the right stuff. You know, I don't want to dig the rest of this out. If it floods through and plummets into here, we might start leaking over, and then we're going to be in a lot more trouble. So what did we research? Ah, we researched the pot. Good. So we're going to put that right there, kind of give them a little little happiness. We'll do a crafting station too. And now, as we move into this area, as you can tell, this is still cold. It's still leaking out. So what we can do actually is move up here. So we can actually take this up a little bit. And we can actually start kind of digging out a future power plant, I guess you would say. Let's see, this goes pretty well. So we can dig a power plant out here. And what we're going to do, because now that we've kind of got that dug out, we'll do this. Yeah, they're not too happy. He's not too happy right now, but as long as he gets that research, we're A-okay. And then we need oxygen, so that when they start moving down into carbon dioxide, oh, yeah, I do. Cooking, research, rocketeering, ranching, bristleberries. He farts frequently, but he research, cooking, and decorating. Well, Stinky, I guess you're going to be our person right now. So Stinky's going to be our main person who's going to start researching, but right now, because we don't have that, he's just going to be a farmer. Him and, who was it? Meep. There's going to be farmers right now. There we go. Or, he's not even a farmer, is he? Well, we won't worry about it. We'll make sure that he gets his thing, I guess you would say. Get that done. So as long as he keeps digging and digs his way down, he can get out. But sometimes they'll just dig, and they'll dig back here, but they won't dig the front out. And then they're going to sit there and complain, you know, that they're stuck. It's like, it is what it is. You know, I try to use that, whatever. Got one of those plastic mats, because the room that I'm working out of has carpet, so when I was trying to roll around, it got kind of annoying when it wouldn't roll anywhere. So let's see, we have 7. So the next thing we're going to actually start researching, and I think will probably be I don't know. Basically the end of the video in a sense is I'll probably build a bathroom and show you how to plumb that. But that's going to require basically getting into here, digging down a little bit. Actually, we may end up just making this our water pit for polluted water right now, which I think is what we're going to do. But I don't have oxidizers, I don't think yet. So that actually is going to have to wait until I get oxidizers, because all this polluted oxygen, I don't want coming in here. Because they'll get unhappy because they have like, you know, they inhaled polluted oxygen, you know, stuff like that. So we need to get this deodorizer right here, and we can make some copper mass, which is fine. Actually, we don't. Yeah, we can make like 4 or 5. Let's make 7 right now. No, unfortunately, I'm not going to really worry about filling it with O2 yet, because I don't want to have my oxygen tank. Ooh, damn! Like, look at that. All of our oxygen is down here. Our guys barely have anything up here. So, what we're going to do is we're going to build another one up here, and we're going to feed it, and it really is annoying, like when you have to feed wiring. Like right here you can see it. It's like, oh, at least like right here you can hide most of it, but that's just kind of and that's kind of like a pet peeve almost. You know, a lot of people want to hide their stuff. You know, you don't want to have wires and stuff hanging around like in your house and things like that. They're usually hidden, right? You try to hide them behind the furniture. They have those types of cable accessories where you can feed all the cables through the tube and then stick it behind, you know, feed it through the wall and stuff like that. You know, because it's clean. You want everything to look clean. And that's just like a weird little tangent I went on. That's all right. What the hell? Oh, that's the crafting machine. So let's see. He's still researching, and I think that's because he's so damn cold that it's taking forever for him to research. But luckily for us, our guys have pretty much successfully dug most of this out. I don't really want to go any more. I almost tempted to do this one last one right here. Sandstone, sandstone. I don't think the sandstone will break, so I think we'll be okay. But what we do need is, so like I said, try to plan ahead. So 1, 2. Just for right now, we'll do a coal generator. We may end up doing more. So let's see, 1, 2, 3. Coal generator. 2. And then power. Sadly, I don't have the heavy duty ones yet. But actually, what we're going to do to plan ahead, we'll do that there. And then when we get our heavy wires, we'll ship it out over here. So this will eventually move. But we don't have those yet. We're still working on that. So right now I have 7 people. I call it on first shift. Let's see. Our food is at 50. You know, it's getting done, but it's not as high as I've gotten it. I've gotten it pretty high before, where I've never had to worry about it. But then when you get it so high that it uses all your sucrose and your fertilizers, then that becomes your next problem of, okay, now it's using up all this. Let's see, what is this ice? Polluted ice. I don't think we're that far from the top. I don't know how far we're... So we're almost to the left side of this thing completely. What about right? And right side. So right and left end there. So we don't have that far to go left or right. Up and down is a different story. Let's see. Bridge, 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 bridge. Kind of dig this out. So now that we've got these airflow tiles, I like to kind of put 2 on the end of almost every row, just so that airflow can go through, you know. And then for like this stuff right here, you know, just put a couple right here in your bases so air can travel up and down and all around. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect, but just give it enough spots that it has the opportunity to travel through, you know. Especially into your water pit down here. I don't know if it actually matters if you offset them or not, but you know, I do it sometimes just to kind of make it look, you know, instead of it all going straight down one path, it can kind of zigzag back and forth in a sense. Alright, so we have these going. So our builders are building all those. He's researching that. We've got power to that. And what we actually can do, now if I plug that in, it will be in the system. So I don't really want that. Right now, that's just sitting there, unfortunately. It's just going to keep churning and using power, which I really don't like. So I said field research. Alright, so now I've got 2 field researchers, so they can both go out there and do their job, type of thing. So let's see, plumbing, liquid valves, gas pumps, and hopefully with this we've actually are going to allow air to go through everywhere now. Carbon dioxide will sink. The air from all those other things will go up higher, things of that nature. Oh, interesting. So looking at the time, I've actually been playing this game for 40 minutes. And I really didn't think I've been playing that long because I haven't really accomplished that much, it seems like. You know, yeah, I've got a little ranch right here, little food crop. You know, I got a little power supply and got this dug out. But overall, if you look back at the 2 episodes, except for this, you know, except for what I just pointed out, and a couple more dupes, I haven't really gone much farther. You know, and that's part of this game, is you can take your time. You can take your time in expanding, make sure everything's kind of right, you know, or you can just bulldoze through everything and hope it all works out for the best, you know. But for me personally, yes, I try to take my time here. You know, I try to You know, like this. I've been talking since the beginning of the episode. I've got to work on this. But then these tiles came about, so I started plugging them in. Then I thought, oh, well, I need an extra power plant. All right, I can do that. Oh, I got researchers. I'll research that. But this needs to be done. So you can get sidetracked kind of easily. So now that I've got these deodorizers up, now, fortunately, we got to keep running power cords. Actually, what we're going to do instead, because I want it to hide, is I'm going to run it through the tile here. I don't want it out and about like this. Now, we can't research anymore. And what we're going to research next is the almighty bathroom. Because that will increase morale. So if you look, the room overlay, 1 morale, 6 morale, 1 morale. So we're trying to increase morale so that we can give them more skills without stressing them out, which is at 0 right now, which is great. We're about to get another dupe, so that means we're actually going to probably have to create another room. So, 278, 80, 84. Like, would you rather be cooler or warmer? I personally would rather be in a cooler area because you can always throw on more blankets and sweaters and stuff like that. So what we're going to do, actually, is boom, boom, furniture-wise, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then put this here, boom, boom. And that'll be like second shift's room, I guess you would say. Ah, there's a dupe. All right. What can we do? Operator, and he's a doctor, and he likes to tidy. So, and he starts with Tech 3 Mechatronics. That's amazing because when you hit Tech 3 with guys like that, those guys can actually start using I'll have to show you the automatic sweepers and the conveyor belts, which really makes life a lot easier. So like with this coal right here, and I've done a pretty piss poor job of doing this, of showing this, but like storage bins, so that you don't have to have them run from like way down here up to here to supply. Like just put a couple storage bins here, and that would be like our coal. So we'd store all of our coal here, and then we get an automatic sweeper with an automatic bin. The conveyor belt will take it over here to another belt, to another sweeper, which will automatically plug that in. And if it's in like a really cold zone or a hot zone, that saves you a lot of hassle because that means your dupes don't have to go in there and worry about getting potentially injured through like heat stroke and things, or eye irritation and things like that. So those are just set for coal. So if we clean up our areas or anything, all the coal is just going to go right in there. Nothing else is allowed to go in there. So we have 8, so he should be primarily operating and tidying. I didn't give him any hats yet, but definitely we need improved tinkering. He's going to get that hat. Actually, no, he's going to get this hat. Just so they know that, hey, yeah, he's a pretty smart guy, but he's just not allowed to work on that yet. You know, we're still under construction when it comes to that. You know, we're still not sure of how all that works completely yet. So with this, the active period is for 61 cycles. Its next dormancy is in 43. So that gives me a huge potential for water sources. So meaning I probably am going to end up expanding all of this, but actually I'm probably making this bigger. And it's going all like that. So I can just dump everything in here and not really have to worry about it for a while. Worry about my water for a while. So... And now what we really need to do, so now that we've got that kind of done, what we actually really want to do, at least I think we should do, or what I would do, and this is what I was talking about, smart storage. So auto sweepers, smart storage, these are rock smashers. We're actually going to get these advanced wiring, so heavy watt wires and stuff like that, so that I can run this all the way through here and start using this more efficiently, because this is going to start empowering most of our heavier equipment. So that's why I kind of did this. I actually need to delete that because the heavy wire can't pass through floors and doors. It has to go around it. You have to put in a switch, a bridge right there for it to go through. That's the only annoying thing about that, but as long as you plan it right and plan it ahead, it really doesn't make that big of a difference. What I'm waiting for is somebody to plug in that oxidizer so that I can, and then for this, slime is actually really bad for your dupes. So what you can do is put a couple bins down here. As soon as they get down there, put a couple bins, and then just let them go to work. So, let's see, temperature right here. Let's see, our room size would be 96 or 64, I forget. 64 maximum, okay. So, 1, 2, so if we go right here, 64 is right there. It's absolutely perfect. So that's actually going to end up being our washroom. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And we want at least one sink. You know, just one sink. And then go 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can either do 3 showers or 4 showers, or 3 toilets and 4 toilets. Doesn't really matter. I mean, if you took that out, then you can do 4 and 4. But just for posterity's sake, you know, I just, you know, when you go in the bathroom or into something, you're not necessarily going there to take a shower or, you know, all that stuff. You just sometimes just go in there and wash your hands. You know, so after they use the restroom, they should be washing their hands. There's no promises on a dupe because they are quite idiotic, but I'm gonna hope that they do. And so what I built these guys for is organic. We don't have any yet, but the slime is actually going to be what we're going to slot that in for. So while these are being built, we can actually just kind of get this stuff under construction. So we'll go here and we can just go right there with it. And then the outtake valve, where all of our polluted crap is going to go, we are going to go down. Yes, we're going to go down here and go this way. And then end up probably digging a lot of this out. And then we'll put a valve right there. So now that this has power, or it doesn't actually even have power yet because this isn't connected just yet because they're not researching it. Oh boy. So we're just basically just going to go boop like this. Second shift people right here. But actually I only have one shift right now. So what we need to do is schedule it. Well, luckily I have enough toilets that they'll clean it out. But I don't have enough water. So that's going to be the problem. And once that is researched, our heavy stuff, which I think he's almost done actually, which he's done right now. So we're going to go heavy plate switch, and always make sure, you know, you have the adequate resources. And then we're going to convert all that to this. We're going to take the heavy wire up here, move it right above there, and boom. Now we can start actually powering our base with something, you know, with some girth to it, with a little bit more meat. So we're going to go all the way down here with this. Go all the way across like that. We're basically going to replace this simple garbage wire. You know. I'm going to get rid of all this. Power wires. And it'll automatically get rid of all these power wires as you do it. So, like if you go to delete something, it'll automatically click on power. So now, basically, that copper has just taken over production of our main area. Which means we don't really need this generator anymore. So we can always put something right there. We could always take this jumbo battery out. But it might just stay filled. So we might end up keeping it. Not really sure yet. So we're going to do this so we can get a couple of refrigerators, things of that nature. Let's see. Meep. What do we want to do with Meep? Do Critter. We'll give her the Crocodile Dundee hat. So no liquid. Did I delete something here? Oh, because I don't have the liquid output yet, it's not going to be happy with me. So, as long as our builders just continue to build, we'll be alright. So, but yeah, that's pretty much just kind of, you know, the next phase of your base is just getting an adequate food source, because if you look, our food is up to 73, and then getting those rooms which will increase morale. So like our great hall, a latrine, your rooms, and then if you look here, I don't know if it, oh, it is. So a washroom of 2, and then what you can do once this is actually up and running is just get rid of this and then use that for another space. And then, you know, we got our mealwood farm. You know, still haven't gotten down here to our grub fruit, which we really need to do. And I didn't get to this part right here yet. But, you know, there's still plenty of time to do it. It's not like we're going to starve. We're only on cycle 20. So I think we're doing okay. You know, nobody's starving. Nothing's broken through. We don't have stuff where we don't want it. Um, so thanks for watching this episode. That's where we're going to end it, I think. So go ahead, and if you enjoyed the video, please hit a like or leave a comment. And if you'd like to follow more videos, please subscribe. All right. Everybody have a good day. Good night.